I'm proud to have into my show from the Leafs Nation, from the Steve Dangle Podcast, the man himself, Steve Dangle Glynn. How you doing, sir?
Good. How are you, Avry?
I'm doing good, man. I'm doing good. Steve, I know, man, you're in our city a few days ago. Myself, Brian Sotheby, Wanye Gretz, a few others were touring you around Westonton Mall. How did you enjoy your first trip to Edmonton and going to a game at Rexall Place?
Hey, Edmonton was great, man. I like experiencing new cities, and most of the traveling I've done has been within Canada so far, and I'm happy for that, I'm happy to get to know my own country, and Edmonton's good, the weather was great, and the score was better. 4-0, what could I ask for?
But that was very true. I know, as you mentioned, the score, Toronto won in that game 4-0. And to see Phil Kessel have an excellent night, I mean, how great is it now, Steve, to see all the critics of Phil Kessel finally be shut up once and for all?
Well, what I love is so many mainstream guys really bashed him or said some things that were unfair about him. And Jeffler on the LeafsNation.com made a post that was just all the unfair things they've said about him, pretty much between, I think it was now and 2010. And that actually generated a lot of hits for a site that a lot of them hate so much. So it was doubly good, and I'm glad to see him have success and the team have success.
Why is he a guy that, he produced last year, he's producing this year. Why was he a guy that people still felt the Leafs should have dealt or got rid of?
Well, at first that trade was pretty rough. It was a heavy price, and then, the Leafs continued struggles in Boston Bruins' success, and then Sagan signing a huge deal that obviously, that stung for a little while, but
right.
None of it was ever Phil's fault. And he's proven to be the best player in that trade. No disrespect to Tyler Sagan. I think he's a great player, but I don't know. I guess he's just not a very good quote, and maybe comes off as a little kind of short and standoffish with people. But who cares? The guy generates offense, generates success. It's what he's there for.
It's so very true, and so very true. And this year with this Leafs team, James Van Riemsdyk, he stepped up also. And how good of a move was it to bring in Mason Raymond? He came in on a tryout. How cool of a move was that to bring him into Toronto this year, Steve?
Well, it was a combination of things, Avry. I was ripping on Dave Nunes because, I was saying there was no way he could possibly bring in, keep Nazem Kadri and Cody Franzen with the money he had left, and he proved everyone wrong by not only keeping those two, but also adding Paul Ranger and Mason Raymond in the process. And that's got to be one of the best contracts on the team right now. And maybe the Leafs extend him next year, and they get to keep a very good player, or they get to flip him at the trade deadline for something much more valuable than a guy that you just invite to camp on a tryout. Or you get to keep a very valuable piece for the playoffs. There's absolutely no downside to this. And all credit to Mason Raymond for working his butt off, and credit to Dave Nunes for signing a pretty darn good deal.
No, most definitely, Stephen. I know for this team, they have a goalie situation that most teams would love to have. You have two good goalies in Jonathan Bernier and James Reimer. Does this team still go back and forth as the season goes on with a two-goalie tandem system? Or do you see Randy Carlyle eventually say, or even earlier say, my number one guy is James Reimer, or I'm going with Bernier? Do you see it happening anytime soon this year, Steve?
I think there may be, different little power shifts and stuff like that. Like Bernier got a few more starts than Reimer for a little while there, but I think ultimately the smartest move would be to keep both of them. I was thinking for a while, as much as I like Reimer, huge Reimer fan, I was thinking maybe trade him for another piece that the Leafs need, but at this point, Bernier and Reimer are the team's two best players, maybe Phil Kessel aside. And they're the reason they're winning games, which is, the name of it all, right? So Reimer's UFA, I think, at the end of this season. And if what he's asking for isn't too crazy, keep them both.
No, you may as well, Steve. I know with this Leafs team, when this season started, did you see this team being on top of the Eastern Conference? I'm sure you thought they would be a good team, but better than everybody else in the entire conference?
Ooh, are the Leafs better than everyone in the Eastern Conference? I would say probably not. I mean, just because they keep getting outshot and seemingly outchanced in every game. But they're a good one, and I had my doubts on them making the I'm not allowed to say it, yeah, they're definitely making it now, and the Sens being off to an unexpectedly slow start definitely helps their chances. But it's a strong conference and a strong division. The Habs have been pretty good. The Bruins are always pretty beastly, and the Tampa Bay Lightning, just as I predicted before the season started, are a much improved team, and they're going to be in the mix. So, while the Leafs are on top, they can't let their foot off the gas. This isn't a league where you can have a really a 5 or 10 game slump. You need to just keep her going the whole time.
No, it's most definitely true. I know, last point of Leafs here, Steve, I know Joffrey Lupul, I mean, to see this guy, he's been producing, he's been playing well, but to be so snake-bitten with injuries, that's going to be tough to see. I know it happened often throughout his career, just to see, the foot injury, the bone bruise. I mean, he can't catch a break with injuries at all, can he?
No, but, the thing with him is it's been bad luck. And I guess the bone bruise that kept him out for a couple of days was bad luck too, but it was also a little bit of irresponsibility. And, you got to wear the proper protection even in practice. So hopefully he keeps that up because he's such an important part to the team. He got one last night in Calgary, and he could have had one against the Oilers if Richard Bachman didn't stone him.
Yep.
And the thing about Lupul and the luxury of having him is he makes the team around him better. Forget him for a sec. He's a great player. He's going to be one of the team's top scorers, but you have to cover him. And if you don't, he's going to score. And if you do cover him, you got the JVR Phil Kessel monster line there. And who knows where Kadri's going to be playing that night. He's been on 3 or 4 different lines so far. So, for the first time, for maybe half my lifetime ago, the Leafs have some pretty good depth.
They do. They most definitely do, Steve. I know in Toronto, I know later tonight, you are going to be taping your podcast, the Steve Dangle Podcast. I mean, it is in the top 10 of sports shows in all North America on iTunes? That is very impressive, sir.
Thank you. Well, not all the time. We only record twice a week, so we ping up and down the standings just because, the other popular sports podcasts, like, obviously Jay and Dan and Tim and Sid and the BS Report and Steve Austin and stuff like that, they put out a lot more often. And let's just face it, they're higher profile personalities than me. I've been doing my videos for quite a few years, but ultimately I'm 25 and I'm a bum compared to those guys. But, I hope to be, up to their caliber one day. And we're having so much fun with the podcast right now. Adam Wilde and I went to high school together, and I still remember sitting in math classes, grade 10 or 11, and we were talking about how we're gonna have a sports show together one day. We talked about it, and he moved away for a number of years, pinging around the country trying to make it in this radio world. But
right.
Once it looked like he was going to be in Toronto, long term, we said, all right, let's make this happen. We actually have the resources and the experience. Let's go for it. And we should have some. I don't want to blow it, but we should have some pretty big news soon. And I don't know. I'm thrilled. I'm thrilled with the show, and it's allowed me to make a new friend there, and Chris, who I didn't really know before that much, and it's great. Having a lot of fun with it.
As you should be, Steve. And the last question for you. I saw on Twitter today, Adam Wilde, I'm sure you'll talk about on the podcast, his Halloween outfit, wearing Kim Kardashian swimsuit and taking a selfie. What do you think about that?
Yeah, that was sexy, eh?
I know, man.
Yeah, I wouldn't wear that, but I think he pulled it off pretty well. And I guess that's what separates us from other sports shows, eh? I don't think we're going to see Bob McCowan wearing a see-through white bikini anytime soon.
Oh, that visual is terrible.
No. Hey, man, you don't know about the Bobcats figure. He drinks his tea every day. I used to get it for him when I was an intern there. So he's probably got the good Bobcat figure. But Adam's got the white bikini, and at the Oilers game, someone was holding a sign with the podcast as hashtagged. So we're a pretty unconventional show, but people seem to like it.
No, it's definitely true. Steve, it's been a blast talking to you, man. Thank you for coming on to my show. I'll be back in Toronto in a few weeks, so we should hook up when I'm back in town again.
Excellent. See you then, and safe travels.
Of course. Thanks, Steve. Talk to you soon, man.
Take care.